Okay, good evening. The time is now 7 o'clock, and we are going to begin our regular board meeting, Tuesday, January 17th, 2012. Item number 1, call to order and establish a quorum. We do have a quorum. Item number 2, Pledge of Allegiance to the U.S. and Texas flags. Ms. Longoria?
We have two students from Angela Jerusalial Elementary. They are here with their principal, Manuel Cruz, who is in the audience. I'd like to introduce, first of all, Abigail Subi, and if she can stand and be recognized at this time while I introduce her. Abigail Subi is an 11-year-old fifth grader originally from Fort Worth, Texas. Her parents are Richard and Mariah Kuhns. Her hobbies are numerous and include climbing trees, drawing, training her dog, and cooking. She is a stellar student, particularly in social studies and science, and has received commended performance on the TAKS test since third grade on both reading and writing. Her goals in life include being able to support her family and finding success as a veterinarian. She is excited to be a part of the San Benito community because she gets to live on a ranch and raise horses, and she gets to attend a brand new Angela Jerusalial Elementary School where she's excited to learn something new every day. Help me welcome Abigail Subi. Joining her is fellow student from that particular campus as well, who's doing the invocation tonight, and he is Seth Gonzalez. Seth Gonzalez is a 10-year-old fifth grader at Angela Jerusalial Elementary. He is the son of Daniel and Veronica Gonzalez. His parents have provided him with different types of active experiences, which include his many hobbies such as soccer, taekwondo, and football. His favorite subjects are both science and social studies. His accomplishments include being nominated and granted GT in kindergarten and receiving commended in all subject levels in the TAKS. Seth has dreams of pursuing a career in engineering and hopes to continue his interest in playing soccer at a professional level. Help me welcome Seth Gonzalez.
Okay, everyone will please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Please remain standing for the invocation.
Dear God, we come before you this evening with grateful hearts, thanking you for all you have done and what you are doing in us and through us. Lord, thank you for our school district and every board member. We ask that you continue to give them the strength, guidance, and wisdom to carry on in making the tough decisions. Continue to guide the steps of every administrator, teacher, faculty member, and students as we discover our potential and purpose. We ask for your direction as things become clear. We give you all the honor and glory. Thank you, Lord. Amen.
And we do have their parents in the audience at this time. If we can ask them to stand and be recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Cruz, and thank you, parents, for allowing your children to participate during this evening's meeting. We're going to move on to item number 4, roll call. Please respond with present. Ileana G. Rodriguez, President Trustee, present. Mr. Hector Leal, Vice President. Ms. June Aguilera, Secretary.
Present.
Mr. Oscar de la Fuente, Jr. Here. Mr. Julian Huerta.
Present.
Mr. Oscar Medrano. Mr. Bob Tumberlinson.
Here.
Mr. Antonio G. Limon, Superintendent.
Present.
Mr. Gustavo Acevedo, School Attorney. Thank you. Moving on to item number 5. Recommend approving the agenda of the regular board meeting of January 17, 2012, with any corrections or deletions. Motion made by Mr. Tumberlinson. Do I have a second? Seconded by Mr. Leal. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Item number 6, public comment. Public participation. The undersigned wishes to address the San Benito CISD Board of Trustees and by his or her signature shows into the board that he or she understands the following provisions to addressing the board. The person wishing to address the Board of Trustees shall register with the presiding officer or designee no later than 5 minutes before the announced time of the school board meeting, shall state their full name, shall state what organization or group, if any, is being represented, shall state the topic they wish to address before the school board, shall refrain from commenting directly on any individual school district employee or public official by name, but may instead refer to a specific employment area, job title, or the Board of Trustees as a whole, and shall refrain from attacks on individuals. The person wishing to address the Board of Trustees should do so in accordance with the following San Benito CISD Board Policy BED, Board Meetings Public Participation Guidelines. Speaker will be allowed 5 minutes to give his or her presentation. Delegations of more than 5 persons shall appoint 1 person to present their views before the Board of Trustees. Presentations shall be informative and shall pertain to school-related issues. Any attack on an individual shall be considered disruption of the meeting. The Board of Trustees shall not deliberate or decide regarding any subject that is not included on the agenda posted with notice of the meeting.
Good evening, Madam President, school board members, and Superintendent Limon. My name is Debbie Castillo, and I am the Vice President for TSTA Professional San Benito Local. And we would like to present you with a small token of our appreciation for all the hard work that you do for the children here in San Benito. And the person assisting me is my lovely daughter, Isabella.
Thank you, Ms. Castillo. Thank you, Mr. Hand, and thank you to her daughter as well. Being that there are no more participants for public comment, we're going to go ahead and move on to item number 7, special recognitions. Mr. Limon.
Thank you, Madam President. At this time, January is set aside to recognize the ladies and gentlemen that serve in our school board. I'd like to read the official proclamation from the Office of the Governor. It says, "Education is the foundation for a future of unlimited opportunity and prosperity. Educated Texans are empowered Texans, liberated to pursue the jobs they desire and the quality of life of their choosing. As a state, we continue to set the bar high for education, but we also understand the importance that local control plays in the overall education system. To that end, we count on local school boards to provide leadership in our districts and to help make sure that our students have the opportunity to achieve their educational goals. Some school board members, all of them, volunteer their time because they care about their community and their schools. Each year, the Texas Association of School Boards designates January as School Board Recognition Month. To emphasize the importance of the service these dedicated men and women provide to districts and students throughout the great state of Texas. At this time, I urge all Texans to recognize the invaluable contribution our school board makes to education in Texas. Therefore, I, Rick Perry, Governor of Texas, do hereby proclaim January 2012 to be School Board Recognition Month in Texas and urge the appropriate recognition whereof In official recognition whereof, I hereby affix my signature this 27th day of December, 2011, and it is signed Rick Perry, Governor of the great state of Texas. So we recognize the ladies and gentlemen that serve on our board. We have a special presentation, and for that, I will turn it over to Ms. Longoria at this time.
Like Mr. Limon mentioned, this is a month we set aside to honor our board members. Of course, it comes from the Texas Association of School Boards, and this year the theme is helping students shine. And we know that y'all have been doing that for our students here in our district. And we would like to begin the presentations by starting with the board members first. And the first one on the list is Mr. Oscar de la Fuente, Jr. And if you can come and step up here in the front, you'll be in the spotlight for a little bit while we call everybody's name. And I'd like to introduce the students that are representing the campus that have adopted Mr. de la Fuente. They come from La Encantada Elementary. Students from La Encantada Elementary are Alejandra Ayala and Amber Marie Montalvo. From Berta Cavazza Middle School, Berta Cavazza Middle School, we have Adriana Ochoa and Sarah Martinez. Thank you, students. The next board member on the list is Mr. Julian Huerta. And the campuses that are here to do the presentation for Mr. Huerta are Rangerville Elementary. The students at that campus are Bianca Ramos and Eva Garza. And from Riverside Middle School, Rianne Elizabeth Riojas and Ishel Vianey Carpio. Wait, they're going to take pictures. Our next board member earning recognition is Mr. Oscar Medrano. And we have students from the following elementary schools making tonight's presentation for Mr. Medrano. From Angela Jerusalial Elementary, you met these two students earlier, Abigail Rose Subi and Seth Daniel Gonzalez. And from Miller Jordan Middle School, Andrea Vela and Noah E. Rodriguez. And I think we're going to pause for pictures. Can you get a little closer, Mito? The next board member that I'd like to call on is Mr. Bob Tumberlinson. And we have students from Landrum Elementary, Malena Peña and Adrian Garcia. And also making the presentation, students from La Paloma Elementary, Daniela Gonzalez and Gabriela E. Lopez. And we can have you up in the front so we can take pictures. There you go. Thank you, students. We next start with the officers on the board. I'd like to call on Board Secretary June Aguilera. And we have 3 campuses doing the recognition for Ms. Aguilera. Students from Dr. Raul Garza Jr. Elementary are Katie Lee Tapia and Juan Manuel Medrano III. From Ed Downs Elementary, we have student representatives Ana Daniela Gonzalez and Ramiro V. Gonzalez Jr. From Frank Roberts Elementary, Nina Loya and Mark Anthony Lopez. And if we all can gather around Ms. Aguilera so we can take a group picture. Ms. Aguilera, if you can be in the center. Everybody kind of get in tight? Can you move up to the front? There you go. Can you scoot in? Yeah, more close. Right here.
One more.
Thank you, students. Our next honoree this evening is our Vice President, Mr. Hector G. Leal. And we have students from 4 campuses doing the honors this evening. First of all, we have a group from Dr. C.M. Cash Elementary, Melanie Ortiz and Gabriel Allen Ortiz. From Judge Oscar de la Fuente Elementary, Sergio Bueno and Giovanni Garza. From San Benito Veterans Memorial Academy, Elisa Esquivel and Parker Longoria. And from Gateway Academy, we have Reina Vasquez. We can pose for a group picture there with Mr. Leal. You're off duty. Very nice. And finally, I'd like to introduce our board president, Ileana G. Rodriguez. And we have 4 campuses doing the honors. First of all, Fred Booth Elementary, the 2 student representatives are Carissa Arellano and Amadeo Núñez. From Sullivan Elementary, Julissa Rodriguez and Trinity Williams. From San Benito High School, David Medrano and John Paul Marrero. From Joe Calandret Positive Redirection Center, Tomica Lopez and Eduardo Peña. And we're going to pose for a group picture with our board president, so if we can kind of gather closely to her, to Ms. Rodriguez. Yeah. Get on the opposite, can you get on the opposite side, next to Ms. Rodriguez? There you go. Big smile. And that concludes the presentation for our board members. If we can ask all of our board members to stand at this time. Let's give all our board members a round of applause. We appreciate everything that y'all do. Parents, if y'all had a child coming before the board tonight to make the presentations, at this time we'd like to recognize you. If y'all can stand and be recognized at this time, please. Thank you, parents, and thank you, students, for participating. We're very excited to introduce one of our newly formed groups from San Benito High School this evening. The name of the group is Cuarteto Flamenco, and they are under the direction of Jorge Mascorro and Mr. Albert Ortiz, and they are the instructors for the program. We have students in the group. These are second-year guitar students. They are Brandon Ontiveros, Matthew Mancias, Enrique Reta, and Eric Ramirez. This group has received an invitation to perform with the Carlos Santana Foundation. I know that when you hear them, y'all will be very pleased with their performances. We appreciate the board members, of course, everything that you all do. I know that's one of the areas that we're very strong in academics, in athletics as well, but also in the fine arts, because fine arts is also very important to the overall success of the student. And so without the support from Mr. Limon and administration and the board members, we couldn't have programs like this in our school district and in our community. So we're very, very proud. I know principal at San Benito High School, Delia Weaver, is very proud as well. And so is the director of dance, Mr. Willie Perez. And we thank you for supporting our efforts and for supporting our students this evening. So at this time, I will let the students take it away, and you will be thrilled with their performance. I guarantee it.
Mrs. Sanchez, Dr. Greer, our band director, Mr. Perez, and our principal, Nelly Weaver. Thank you all. We wouldn't be able to do this if it weren't for you all. Our next selection is entitled Secreto de Amor. So, we hope you enjoy it. Barcelona by what Weaver. One of the first songs we learned for the quartet, so we hope you enjoy this.
I'm not sure if their parents are in the audience, but if their parents are in the audience, we'd like to recognize them at this time. And if we have any of their rest of the family members, such as grandparents, aunts, and uncles in the audience, if they can stand and be recognized at this time. Well, y'all will know we have Conjunto Mariachi Estudiantina, now we have Cuarteto Flamenco, and it's all thanks to board, Mr. Limon, and administration such as Ms. Sanchez, and everybody's help working together along with Mrs. Delia Weaver, the principal at San Benito High School, and the director of bands. Couldn't do it without y'all's support and help, and we hope you've enjoyed the presentation, and now you know why they received an invitation to the Carlos Santana Foundation.
I'd like to recognize that was a tremendous performance, and thank you to the teachers and to the administration and to the students who have invested. I can only imagine the amount of time that they've invested into getting this done. So, job well done. We're very, very proud of you. Continue your hard work, and we're hoping to see more of what you have in store. Thank you. Moving on to item number 8, break for reception. The time is now 8:07, and we're going to return from our break for reception. Item number 9, Superintendent's Report. Mr. Limon?
Thank you, Madam President. The overnight trips that have been scheduled, San Benito High School, Veterans Memorial Academy, the National Junior, ROTC, five-star drill team, and the Caney High School in Houston, scheduled for January the 20th and the 21st. Texas Department of Agriculture CRE Nutrition Audit. The auditors from the Texas Department of Agriculture and the United States Department of Agriculture were in the district Monday, January the 9th through Wednesday, January the 11th, 2012. I want to read a little bit of what they wrote when they left. It says, the Child Nutrition Department is doing a great job with record keeping and compliance at the schools. Ms. Landrum and her staff provided us with evidence of all records. The CE is doing an outstanding job with wellness activities. The student participation is high, and the students seem to enjoy the meal service. Wonderful work flowed at the high school, where 1,609 students were served in 25 minutes. The financial management showed a positive balance due to hard work and training with staff. No findings. Keep up the good work. It was a perfect audit. Congratulations to the Child Nutrition Program. Some districts, when they're faced with audits such as these, can lose up to hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of funding if they find that they're not doing what they're supposed to do. But as you can see, very proud of our staff, hard-working staff, where we had a perfect audit, and I just wanted to go on record as congratulating the Child Nutrition Program. We have disbursements by organization, and we have the San Benito CISD investment report, September the 1st, 2011 through November the 30th, 2011. And that concludes the superintendent's report. We'll answer any questions that may be present. Thank you.
Are there any questions? Okay, moving on to item number 10, school construction report. Mr. Ramon?
Good evening. Thank you for the work that you do for the communities of this district. I know that many times it's a thankless job. At Frank Roberts and Landrum Elementary are the only projects that are left. Approximately at Frank Roberts, approximately 95% of the block has been installed. Approximately 95% of the break has already been completed. Roof areas have been dried in. That means that there's no water should be coming in, but the roof is not yet finished. They're still working on that. Steel work is continuing. Duct work for the air condition is continuing. Plumbing and electrical work is continuing. At Landrum, block work has been completed. Brick work has been completed. The roof area has been dry. Plumbing and electrical work still continues. That's my report. or they have any questions.
Mr. Ramon. Being that there are no more questions, we're going to go ahead and move on to action agenda. Item number 11. In order to promote efficient meetings, the board may act upon more than one item by a single vote through the use of a consent agenda. Consent items placed on the agenda shall be marked with an asterisk. Consent items are items for which no board discussion is anticipated and for which the superintendent recommends approval. Prior to the time which approval of consent agenda is had, at the request of any member of the Board of Trustees, any item on the consent agenda shall be removed and given individual consideration. We'll begin with business and finance. Item 1201A-1, request for approval of proposals pertinent to the Universal Fund Education Rate, E-Rate 15, year 2012. Consent. Item 1201A-2, request for the approval of proposals on windstorm, hurricane, and hail insurance. Consent. Item 1201A-3, request for approval to extend the contract on the on-site primary health care health clinic with HCA Physician Services for one additional year.
I have a question.
Question by Ms. Aguilera. Item 1201A-4, request for approval of 2011-2012 budget amendments. Consent. Item 1201A-5, request for approval of budget transfers. Consent. Item 1201A-6, request for approval of 2010-2011 annual financial and compliance report, fiscal year ending 8/31/11. Consent. Under curriculum and instruction, item 1201A-7, request for approval of the San Benito CISD District Improvement Plan for the 2011-2012 school year. Consent. Under administration, item 1201A-8, request for approval of board minutes. Consent. I'd like to request a motion to approve items 1201A-1, 1201A-2, 1201A-4, 1201A-5, 1201A-6, 1201A-7, and 1201A-8.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Leal. Do I have a second? Second. Seconded by Mr. Medrano. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Going back to business and finance, we had a question for item 1201A-3, request for approval to extend the contract on the on-site primary care health clinic with HCA Physician Services for one additional year. Ms. Aguilera?
Due to getting sick last week, I was unable to attend the business and finance meeting, and I just wanted to get enlightened on this because I wasn't not aware that I had missed this, and I just wanted to see where, I guess, Mr. Limon, if you can explain to me what I missed that day.
Yes, ma'am, I'd be glad to. I have just passed out some information on clinic. I'll ask Janie Gonzalez to come forward as well. Everything is still on the timetable for going out for bids. The letters have been sent. Everything is on the timetable to go out, if that's what the board wishes to do. But what we're recommending, I'm sorry, sir. But what we're recommending is to take one final look at this contract that is extendable for one more year, and they had been working with us prior to this in improving the clinic. And that's what you have before you, and that's what I'll have Ms. Gonzalez present what she presented at the meeting.
Okay, before we get into that, I thought we had voted to go out for proposals on this particular.
That's for, sorry.
Did we go out? I thought we had all agreed that we were gonna put this out for bid. And we were gonna see what kind of bids came in so that we could better evaluate whether to continue with this company or to go with somebody else. Did you just put that to the wayside or what?
No, sir, I was never made aware of that. I was not in attendance of that meeting, so I was not told
Well, I don't think you need to
anything.
be at the meeting to be aware of it. Nobody informed you?
No, sir, I was not informed.
Who's our bid purchasing director?
Adrian.
Adrian? No what?
The timetable was to discuss it in the January board meeting, whether we bid out or extend it.
go out for the bids.
It was a unanimous decision.
I don't think we voted on it, I think it was discussed.
Go either way. That's what I remember. I'm not sure. Maybe we can play back the minutes.
And we're ready to go out. Nothing has changed. The timetable is still there, and we're ready to go out if that's what the board wishes to
No.
do.
You asked us this the last time, Mr. Limon, and we said we needed to go out for bids. And we
That's true.
wanted to go out for bids, and I thought at this meeting that we would have proposals or we would have responses to the bids that were sent out, and that we could evaluate whether this was going to be continued or whether we were gonna go with another company.
The timeframe on that, Mr. LaFuente, is to go out for bids in January, to be received a month later in
To be received in
February,
February,
and to be brought before the board
in March.
in March.
We've
So
got an
we're
April
still-
17
that-
deadline.
That's always been
so
the
we have plenty
timetable.
of time.
We couldn't turn it around that quickly for this board meeting.
Well, I remember you informed us, and we said, well, I don't know why you're waiting so long. We want to go out for bids, and we need to do it like right now. And I thought, Adrian, when did you go out for bids, or when were you told?
I had given a timetable, I'd given a timetable to Mr. Limon that we could wait as late as this week. Whatever, yes, because the contract date is April 17th. We have this month, February, March, to bid out the item. If you all decide to bid and get proposals, we can still do it. We got plenty of time, we can award it in March. One whole month before the contract ends.
My question is simply, if we had decided unanimously that we were going to go out for bids, I don't understand why we're getting an improvement plan if that was never discussed. We never requested to get, negotiations. We asked for proposals.
I can answer that, Madam President. This was ongoing before we brought it in discussion last board meeting. It hadn't gotten to us yet when I spoke to the board. It got to us afterwards. We reviewed it. We took it to committee, okay? We took it to committee. We said, these are conditions that now they're willing to meet. We didn't have any problems with the clinic other than the fact that we didn't feel they were seeing enough people. They provided a plan for us, and they're working well. And, so I made the decision falls on me. I made the decision to bring it to the board so we can take one last look at it. And you still have the final authority and you can vote. What happened last time was a discussion in executive session. There was no votes taken.
Can we have Ms. Gonzalez present to us the changes or the things that they went over with her, so we can maybe be...
Okay, I've got a few of the items. They provided us with a plan of action. They've proposed to the district, it's a positive plan. They've requested that we add an additional exam room, which we've already done. We did this actually on Friday afternoon when we closed the clinic. The recruitment of an additional part-time provider to provide 20 additional hours per week to accommodate 60 additional visits per week. Also, they've done they've recommended an online appointment scheduling, which is an issue that we're having right now. We're having a lot of issues with the appointments being taken. Therefore, they can go online, they can be able to decide on their own and see which slots are open and which ones are not. At this point, what they do is they just call the clinic and set up an appointment. They've also provided to give us a clinical audit to be completed by June of 2012. That is their plan of action. I am more than willing to be working with HCA to oversee their plan and make sure that it is all fulfilled. Of course, it is really up to the board to decide whether we go out for bid or whether we stay where we're at. We have plenty of time to go out for bid. Like we mentioned, our contract does not expire till April the 18th, so we have plenty of time. Actually, for a clinic, you probably need no more than 10 days to get that going. That's all they do, so it's really simple.
I think, I'm still in favor of going out for the bids, just like these people have improved their plan. There's a lot of other companies out there that can be better. And I just think that they deserve a chance to at least come and show us what they can bring to the table. Yes, we have time, but we don't always have to wait till the last minute. We can start now. It won't hurt either way. So I'm still in favor. And my big concern was the fact that we had already discussed it, and I wanted to know why it came back on here as a request to approve an additional year, and when we already had spoke to you at the last meeting to actually go out.
The only reason, ma'am, that it came back was because some more additional information became available that I felt the board needed to be aware of. Okay. Again, we have lost no time. We're still on schedule. The main thing we had to do was send a letter notifying them 90 days before the end of the contract that we were planning to go out on bids. That letter was sent out the following day after the board met last month. So that's been taken care of. We're still within, whatever the board wants to do, it can still be done. I just wanted to present additional information.
In terms of savings, Janie, I know you have some saving numbers here at the end. Can you explain that to us?
I actually do. Let me get that real quick. As far as the savings, actually what I put on here was the employee savings on an annual basis. This is with an average of 20 to 22 visits per day. The savings is $190,000. This is just on the clinic. This has nothing to do with the prescriptions. So we're saving the employees of the district $190,000. With the figures that I have up to date right now, we would be saving the employees $500,000 with prescriptions. You put those two together, that's over $700,000 of savings for the employees of the district. The school district savings is, on an annual savings, is $411,000. Now, if we increase those hours, the visits to up to 50 to 60, that's going to double the savings for the district and the employees as well. It'd be great. And we can go ahead and increase the utilization for the number of employees that come to the clinic. But we can do that, we can do that now. We can do that with any other new administrator that comes in.
Are there any other questions or comments regarding this item?
I'm going to go ahead and move that we table this item. I think it was pretty clear at the last meeting, or from what I recall, that we were going to go out for bids, and I think we should proceed in that manner. So I'm going to move that we table this item at this time.
I'll second.
Motion made by Mr. De La Fuente to table item 1201A-3, seconded by Ms. Aguilera. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries.
I will abstain, ma'am, for the record.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Janey. What time? Item number 12. Closed meeting, discussion under the authority of the Texas Government Code 551.071 for the purpose of a private consultation with board's attorney on any or all subjects or matters authorized by law, A, pending litigations. 551.074 for the purpose of the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee, to hear complaints or charges against a public officer or employee. A, report on personnel. The time is 8:25, and we are now in closed session. The time is now 9:02, and we're returning from closed session. Item number 13, consider action on items discussed in closed meeting, 551.071, for the purpose of a private consultation with the board's attorney on any or all subjects or matters authorized by law. A, pending litigations, and we have no action on that. 551.074 for the purpose of the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee, to hear complaints or charges against a public officer or employee. No action there as well. Item number 14, adjournment. The time is now 9:02, and we are adjourned.